Welcome, bike dino enthusiasts, to a journey deep into the past. Today, we're traveling back 70 million years to the late Cretaceous period. Forget the lush jungles you might imagine. We're heading to the dramatic coastlines of ancient Earth. Picture this. Brilliant white sand stretches for miles, met by the relentless crash of turquoise waves. Towering, jagged cliffs stand like silent sentinels, carved by millennia of wind and water. This is a world of stark beauty and constant struggle. A place where survival is a daily battle. High above, circling on vast, leathery wings, a sentinel of the skies scans the scene below. This is a pterosaur, a master of the Cretaceous airways, and its hungry, its sharp eyes, honed by evolution, miss nothing. It's not just enjoying the view, it's hunting. But its target isn't a fish in the shallows or a small lizard on the rocks. It's looking for an easy, high-energy meal, a treasure trove of nutrition just waiting to be claimed. Down on the beach, nestled precariously between the high tide line and the base of the cliffs, is a sprawling nesting colony. This is the domain of a semi-aquatic dinosaur, a creature perfectly adapted to life on the edge of land and sea. Let's call her our coastal mother. She has painstakingly dug a shallow nest in the sand, a simple depression where she has laid her precious clutch of eggs. Each egg is a perfect oblong capsule of future life, warmed by the sun-baked sand. For her, these eggs represent the continuation of her lineage, the culmination of immense effort and biological imperative. She stands guard, a vigilant parender senses on high alert. The constant roar of the surf masks many sounds, but her instincts are sharp. She knows the air, the sea, and the land are all filled with potential threats. She shifts her weight, her powerful legs planted firmly, her head swiveling, scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. The salty spray mists her scaly hide, but she remains steadfast. Up in the sky, the pterosaur has locked onto its target. From its vantage point, the nesting colony is a buffet. The eggs, left momentarily unattended as the mother patrols the perimeter of her territory, are glowing beacons of opportunity. It adjusts its flight path, folding its wings slightly to begin a controlled, spiraling descent. This isn't a reckless dive. It's a calculated, strategic approach. The pterosaur is a master of aerodynamics, using the updrafts from the cliffs and the ocean winds to its advantage. It glides silently, a shadow passing over the sand, getting closer and closer. Every fiber of its being is focused on the prize. It needs to be quick, precise, and decisive. One wrong move, one moment of hesitation, and the parent will be upon it. The tension is palpable, a silent duel of wits between the guardian on the ground and the thief in the sky. The moment arrives. The mother dinosaur turns her back for a split second, perhaps distracted by the movement of a crab scuttling across the sand or the shadow of a large wave. That's all the opening the pterosaur needs. It tucks its wings and plunges. The air whistles past its elongated head as it rockets towards the nest. It's a breathtaking display of aerial agility. Its goal is a single, perfect egg. With astonishing precision, its long, toothy beak closes around one of the precious orbs. The shell offers little resistance. It doesn't try to carry the whole egg. That would be too cumbersome and risky. Instead, its sharp beak pierces the shell, ready to gulp down the rich, nutritious yolk inside. This is the ultimate smash and grab. A high-stakes robbery, millions of years in the making. For the pterosaur, this is a vital meal. Fuel to power its massive wings for the next hunt. The sound of the cracking shell instantly alerts the mother. She whips around, a roar of fury erupting from her throat that momentarily challenges the sound of the ocean. She charges, her powerful legs churn through the sand, kicking up a spray as she lunges towards the airborne intruder. But she's just a fraction of a second too late. The pterosaur, with its prize secured, is already pushing off the ground. With a powerful downstroke of its enormous wings, it launches itself back into the sky. It has the advantage of the third dimension. The mother dinosaur can only snap her jaws at the air where the thief was moments before, her frustration and rage echoing across the beach. She lets out another defiant roar. a warning to any other would-be predators. Her message is clear. This beach is protected. The pterosaur climbs higher and higher, the frantic scene on the beach shrinking below. It has successfully executed its raid. The stolen yoke provides a burst of energy, a critical reward for a high-risk maneuver. It circles once more, a triumphant silhouette against the bright Cretaceous sun, before banking and gliding away along the cliff face, disappearing into the vast, open sky. Down below, the mother dinosaur returns to her nest. She nudges the remaining eggs, her maternal instincts taking over once more. She has lost one, but she will defend the rest with her life. The eternal cycle of life and death, of predator and prey, plays out once again on this ancient, windswept shore. This single, dramatic moment is a snapshot of the constant pressures that shaped life in the age of dinosaurs, where every meal was a battle and every new life was a victory against the odds. This coastal clash highlights the incredible diversity of strategies that evolved during the Cretaceous. It wasn't just about giant carnivores hunting massive herbivores. It was a complex web of interactions, from the smallest insect to the largest sauropod, from the deepest oceans to the highest skies. The pterosaur's egg-stealing behavior, known as oophagy, was a clever adaptation. Eggs are a fantastic source of protein and fat, all neatly packaged and, if you're clever, undefended. For a creature that spent so much energy in flight, such a calorie-dense meal was invaluable. It was a low-effort, high-reward strategy, provided you could outsmart the parents. This type of predation likely had a significant impact on dinosaur nesting habits, forcing them to develop more protective strategies, like nesting in colonies for collective defense or choosing more concealed nesting sites. The mother dinosaur, in turn, demonstrates the powerful force of parental care in the animal kingdom, a trait that wasn't exclusive to mammals. Fossil evidence, including nests with fossilized parents found sitting on them, suggests that many dinosaur species were dedicated parents. They invested enormous energy in laying eggs and protecting them from a constant barrage of threats. This battle on the beach wasn't just a random act of violence. It was an evolutionary arms race. The pterosaur evolves to be a better thief, with sharper senses and faster flight. The dinosaur evolves to be a better guardian, with heightened vigilance and fiercer defensive instincts. Each species drives the evolution of the other in a dance that has played out across countless generations. So, as we leave this dramatic Cretaceous coastline, we re-reminded that the world of the dinosaurs was far more intricate and fascinating than we can often imagine. It was a world of spectacular landscapes, incredible creatures, and constant high-stakes drama. Every fossil we find is a clue, a piece of a puzzle that helps us reconstruct these lost worlds and understand the incredible story of life on our planet. It's a story of survival, adaptation, and a timeless conflict between the hunter and the hunted. Thank you so much for joining us on this prehistoric adventure. If you were captivated by this glimpse into the Cretaceous period, please show your support by hitting that like button. And for more deep dives into the amazing world of dinosaurs and other ancient life, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We've got so many more incredible stories from Earth's past to share with you. Until next time, stay curious. Welcome, paleontology enthusiasts, to a journey back in time. Today, we're soaring into the turbulent skies of the late Cretaceous, a period ruled not just by land-based titans, but by colossal winged reptiles. Forget the serene image of pterosaurs gliding peacefully over ancient oceans. The Cretaceous sky was a brutal, unforgiving arena, a battlefield where giants clashed for supremacy. We're about to witness an epic confrontation, the Pterosaur Sky War. Our story unfolds along the dramatic coastal cliffs and towering sea stacks of the late Cretaceous, roughly 70 million years ago. This is a world of breathtaking beauty and sudden violence. Jagged peaks pierce the clouds, providing precarious nesting sites, while the vast ocean below teems with life, a smorgasbord for those brave enough to hunt it. But this prime real estate is fiercely contested. The air itself is a territory, and controlling it means controlling life. Meet our first contender, the magnificent Pteranodon. With a wingspan stretching up to 23 feet, Pteranodon is a master of the coastal skies. Its name means toothless wing, and its long, lightweight beak is perfectly designed for snatching fish from the water's surface. They are agile, efficient gliders, riding the thermal updrafts, rising from the cliffs with incredible grace. Pteranodons are social creatures, nesting in large colonies on these treacherous ledges, their calls echoing across the canyons. For them, these cliffs are home sanctuary to raise their young and a launching point for their fishing expeditions. But a shadow is falling over this coastal kingdom. A challenger arrives, a creature of truly unbelievable scale. This is Quetzalcoatlus, the largest flying animal of all time. Named after the Aztec feathered serpent god, this giant is a sight to behold. Standing on the ground, it's as tall as a modern-day giraffe. In the air, its wingspan can reach an astonishing 36 feet or more. Unlike the coastal pteranodon, Quetzalcoatlus is often found further inland, a terrestrial stalker hunting small dinosaurs on the plains. But as seasons change and food sources shift, these giants are forced to expand their territory, pushing them towards the resource-rich coastlines. And that is where our conflict begins. A squadron of Quetzalcoatlus, driven by hunger and the instinct to dominate, descends upon the pteranodon's nesting grounds. Their arrival is like a living storm cloud, blotting out the sun. Their massive size alone is a weapon, a terrifying display of power meant to intimidate. The pteranodons, fiercely protective of their nests and young, refuse to back down. The sky, once a highway for graceful gliders, is about to become a war. The initial confrontation is a chaotic ballet of aerial maneuvers. The smaller, more nimble pteranodons swarm the intruders, using their agility to their advantage. They dive and weave, trying to harry the larger Quetzalcoatlus, their sharp beaks jabbing at wings and body. They are a coordinated defense force, a testament to the strength of their colony. Their screeches of alarm and defiance fill the air, a desperate attempt to drive off the invaders. But Quetzalcoatlus is not just a giant. It's an apex predator. It counters the pteranodon's agility with brute force and reach. A single beat of its enormous wings creates a powerful downdraft, capable of throwing a smaller pterosaur off balance and sending it tumbling through the air. Its long, spear-like beak is not just for hunting small prey on the ground. In the air, it becomes a deadly lance. One well-aimed thrust can cripple or kill a pteranodon instantly. The battle escalates. The sky is a dizzying spectacle of silhouettes against the setting sun. We see a pteranodon parent bravely dive bombing a Quetzalcoatlus that gets too close to its ledge. The giant swats it away with a casual, yet devastating, flick of its wing. Another Quetzalcoatlus singles out a pteranodon in midair, engaging in a terrifying chase through the narrow canyons between the sea stacks. The pteranodon uses its knowledge of the terrain, banking sharply and trying to outmaneuver its larger pursuer. But the Quetzalcoatlus has surprising dexterity for its size. As the fight rages on, the weather turns. The clear sky gives way to dark, menacing clouds. A storm is brewing, a common and dangerous feature of these Cretaceous coastlines. The wind howls, turning the air from a battleground into a maelstrom. This is where the laws of aerodynamics become a matter of life and death. The powerful storm winds are a great equalizer and a great danger. For the pteranodons, whose lightweight bodies are built for gliding on thermals, the gale force winds are a nightmare. They struggle to maintain control, their wings battered by the gusts. The Quetzalcoatlus, with its greater mass and muscle power, seems to fare better initially. Its sheer size helps it to power through the turbulent air. But even for this titan, the storm is a formidable foe. An unpredictable gust can catch even its massive wing, threatening to snap the delicate bone structure within. The battle for territory is now a battle for survival against the elements themselves. Amidst the chaos, we witness both tragedy and heroism. A young pteranodon, not yet a strong flyer, is ripped from its nest by a violent gust of wind. It tumbles helplessly towards the raging sea below. Its parent, seeing the unfolding disaster, abandons the fight and makes a desperate, perilous dive through the storm to try and save its offspring. It's a poignant reminder that this is not just a war between species, but a struggle for the continuation of a family line. The Quetzalcoatlus see their opportunity in the chaos. With the pteranodon defenses scattered by the storm, A few of the giants manage to land on the upper ledges. They are not here to nest. They are here to feed. They stalk the ledges, their long necks allowing them to probe into crevices, snatching eggs and vulnerable hatchlings. It's a brutal, efficient raid. The prize for winning this sky war is a feast, but the storm reaches its peak. A bolt of lightning illuminates a terrifying scene. A massive kucha, caught in a powerful updraft, loses control. Its enormous wing folds at an unnatural angle. It lets out a final, agonizing cry before plummeting from the sky. A fallen giant crashing into the churning waves. The storm is indiscriminate in its destruction. It claims victims from both sides. As the storm begins to pass and dawn breaks, the aftermath is revealed. The sky is quiet, the air heavy with loss. The cliffs are scarred, nests are destroyed, and the pteranodon colony has suffered heavy casualties. The surviving Quetzalcoatlus, having taken what they could, retreat inland, leaving the battered pteranodons to pick up the pieces. But the pteranodons are resilient. The survivors begin to regroup. They tend to their wounds, call out for the missing, and start the painstaking process of rebuilding their nests. This was a devastating battle, but it was not an extinction event. It was a single, violent chapter in the endless cycle of competition that defined life in the Mesozoic era. The war for the sky is never truly over. The territories will be reclaimed, the colonies will recover, and future generations will once again have to defend their homes against shadows from the sky. The Pterosaur Sky War is a powerful illustration that the prehistoric world was a complex and dynamic ecosystem. Survival was a constant struggle fought on land, in the sea, and most dramatically, in the air. These magnificent creatures were not just simple animals, but warriors fighting for their territory, their families, and their very existence in a world of giants. Thank you so much for joining us on this aerial adventure back to the age of dinosaurs. If you were captivated by this epic sky battle, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the incredible world of prehistory. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a new expedition. See you next time. Welcome back, paleo pioneers, to another journey into the deep, distant past. Today, we're diving into the heart of the late Cretaceous, around 70 million years ago. Forget what you think you know about quiet, serene oceans. We're heading to a place of chaos, creation, and colossal conflict. A secluded, warm-water bay that served as the ancient breeding ground for the titans of the sea. Picture this, a narrow inlet, sheltered from the open ocean's fury. The water is unusually warm, heated by geothermal vents bubbling up from the seabed. This is no ordinary bay. It's a prehistoric maternity ward. For generations, this specific location has been the destination for one of the most formidable marine reptiles ever to exist. The most hundreds of them, some stretching over 50 feet long, are converging here. The air is thick with anticipation and the low, guttural calls of these massive creatures. But they are not here to hunt in the traditional sense. They are here for a far more primal, more urgent purpose: to hide a beard. Unlike their land-dwelling cousins, mosasaurs were viviparous, meaning they gave birth to live young. Much like modern whales and dolphins, this warm, shallow bay is the perfect nursery. The balmy water helps the newborn mosasaurs regulate their body temperature, and the sheltered environment offers a degree of protection from the harsh realities of the open ocean. But protection is a relative term in the Cretaceous. This gathering of life is a beacon, an irresistible dinner bell for every predator in the region. From the murky depths, the true giants emerge. Not other mosasaurs, but something older, something with a lineage stretching back even further. The mighty Tylosaur, a larger, more aggressive relative in the mosasaur family, a 60-foot behemoth with a skull built like a battering ram. It isn't here to breed, it's here to feast on the vulnerable. The scent of birth has drawn it in like a shark to blood. A massive female mosasaur has just given birth to a litter of pups. They are small, maybe 10 feet long, and instinctively swim close to her enormous body for safety. But the Tylosaurus sees its opportunity. It charges, its powerful tail propelling it through the water with terrifying speed. The mother mosasaur roars, a sound that reverberates through the water and turns to intercept. The two titans collide in a cataclysm of snapping jaws and churning water. The mother, driven by pure instinct, fights with a ferocity she wouldn't normally display. She twists and bites, aiming for the Tylosaurus's vulnerable fins and eyes. Her goal isn't to kill the attacker, but to drive it away, to buy her young precious seconds to scatter and hide amongst the submerged mangrove roots and rocky out. Meanwhile, the chaos in the water is attracting attention from above. Soaring on thermals are flocks of pteranodons, their massive wingspans casting fleeting shadows over the water. They are opportunistic scavengers. The battle below is churning up smaller fish and cephalopods, creating an easy buffet for these winged reptiles. They dive with precision, snatching unsuspecting prey from the surface, completely indifferent to the life or death struggle happening just a few feet beneath them. But the pteranodons have their own problems. From the deeper water, a different kind of hunter emerges. A squadron of the bulldog fish of the Cretaceous, each one over 15 feet long, and armed with a jaw full of needle-sharp fangs. They aren't interested in the giant mosasaurs, but the small, vulnerable mosasaur pups are the perfect size. They move in like a pack of wolves, trying to separate a pup from its mother's protective shadow. A young mosasaur, disoriented by the chaos, strays too far. In a flash, a Zphactinus lunges, its jaws clamping down. The mother mosasaur, still fending off the Tylosaurus, lets out a guttural cry of distress but can do nothing. It's a harsh lesson in survival. In this bay, life and death are separated by mere inches and moments. As the sun begins to set, casting long, golden rays across the blood-tinted water, a temporary lull falls over the bay. The Tylosaurus, having sustained several deep wounds, decides the fight isn't worth the effort and retreats into the gloom of the deeper channel, searching for an easier meal. The surviving mosasaur pups huddle close to their exhausted mother. But the dangers are not over. As night falls, a new set of predators takes over. Lurking in the shallow, sandy flats are the ancient sharks. Smaller than the mosasaurs, but incredibly efficient. They are the cleanup crew of the Cretaceous seas. They patrol the edges of the bay, their keen senses detecting the weak and the injured. Any mosasaur pup that didn't find adequate shelter becomes a target for these silent, nocturnal hunters. And it's not just about predators. The competition among the mosasaurs themselves is intense. This prime real estate is limited. A larger, more dominant female might try to force a smaller one out of a particularly safe and warm patch of water. Fights break out constantly, not always to the death, but fierce displays of power to establish dominance and secure the best possible start for their offspring. This bay, this cauldron of life, is a perfect microcosm of the Cretaceous period. It is a world of constant struggle, where the instinct to create life is met with the instinct to consume it. Every creature, from the colossal Tylosaurus to the diving Pteranodon, plays a part in this intricate and brutal dance of survival. The sheer number of births that happen here ensures that despite the horrific losses the mosasaur species will endure, will continue to dominate the world's oceans. For the young mosasaurs that survive their first few days in this perilous nursery, the future is bright. They will grow quickly, and soon they will be the hunters, not the hunted. They will leave the bay and venture into the open ocean, carrying the legacy of their kind, ready to claim their place at the top of the food chain. This chaotic, violent, and beautiful cycle of life is what made the age of dinosaurs so truly magnificent. Thank you for joining us on this incredible dive back in time. If you were as fascinated by the brutal beauty of the Cretaceous seas as I was, don't forget to hit that like button, and for more journeys into the prehistoric world, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. We'll see you on the next adventure. Hey Ebitawine, and welcome back. When you think of a classic dinosaur showdown, what comes to mind for most of us? It's the epic image of a colossal Tyrannosaurus Rex facing off against the horned titan, the Triceratops. This isn't just a scene from a movie. It was a very real drama that played out across the plains and forests of the late Cretaceous over 66 million years ago. But what if I told you this legendary rivalry was far more complex than just a simple fight? What if it was a story of strategy, sacrifice, and a battle of generations? Let's set the scene. We're in North America, during the final days of the dinosaurs. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient trees. Vast forests give way to open fern print. This is the world of T-Rex and Triceratops. Now, the T-Rex was a fearsome predator, no doubt about it, weighing over 7,000 kilograms. With a bite force that could crush bone, it was the undisputed king. But Triceratops was no pushover. This massive herbivore, also tipping the scales at over 7 tons, was a walking fortress, with its 3-foot-long brow horns and a solid bone frill protecting its neck. It was built to defend itself. For decades, we've imagined their encounters as one-on-one duels, a clash of titans. But recent discoveries and a closer look at fossil evidence are painting a much more intricate picture. The evidence suggests that Triceratops didn't just stand their ground. They were incredibly intelligent and social animals. They likely lived in herds, much like modern elephants or buffalo. This changes everything. A lone T-Rex wouldn't just be facing one angry Triceratops. It would be facing an entire family, a wall of horns and shields. So, how would a T-Rex even attempt to hunt such a well-defended animal? It couldn't just charge head-on. That would be suicide. The Triceratops' horns were perfectly positioned to pierce the T-Rex's chest and vital organs. Instead, the T-Rex had to be a cunning strategist. It would likely stalk the herd, probing for weaknesses, looking for the young, the old, or the isolated. It would use its size and terrifying presence to try and create panic, to separate a single individual from the safety of the group. This is where the idea of a generational battle comes in. The survival of the Triceratops herd depended on protecting its next generation. The fossils tell a fascinating story. We've found Triceratops frills with bite marks from T-Rex that have healed. This means the Triceratops survived the encounter. It fought, got injured, and lived to see another day. These weren't just prey animals, they were warriors. They were survivors. Imagine this scenario. A T-Rex closes in on a herd. The adults don't scatter. Instead, they form a defensive circle, a living fortress with the young and vulnerable calves safely in the center. The bulls, the largest and strongest males, would likely be on the front lines, presenting a terrifying wall of horns to the predator. Their frills. It's a standoff. The T-Rex roars, trying to intimidate them. The Triceratops bellow back, stamping their feet, refusing to yield. Now, here's where the strategy gets brilliant. To break this formation, the T-Rex might have to take a huge risk. But the Triceratops herd had its own tactical playbook. Let's say the T-Rex manages to get past the initial line of defense. The other adults wouldn't just watch, they would maneuver, working together to flank the T-Rex, creating a deadly triangle of horns. This wasn't a chaotic melee, it was coordinated, cooperative defense. Some paleontologists even propose a more heart-wrenching tactic, a strategic sacrifice. If a T-Rex managed to isolate a calf, an older, perhaps past its prime Triceratops might intentionally draw the predator's attention. It would charge the T-Rex, engaging it in a fight it might not win, buying precious time for the rest of the herd, especially the young, to escape. This is the ultimate act of herd preservation, ensuring the survival of the species. It wasn't just a fight for one life, but a fight for the future of the entire lineage. The Tyrannosaurus, on the other hand, was also a parent. It had its own young to feed. A successful hunt wasn't about sport, it was about survival for its own family. So, the T-Rex had to weigh the risk versus the reward. A direct attack on a healthy adult Triceratops was incredibly dangerous. A broken leg or a deep wound from a horn could mean a slow, agonizing death from starvation for the T-Rex. So, it had to be an opportunist. It would target the weak, or perhaps scavenge a Triceratops that had already died. The fossil record supports this dynamic. We find T-Rex tooth marks on Triceratops bones, but we also find Triceratops bones with healed T-Rex bite marks. This tells us that sometimes the T-Rex won, and sometimes the Triceratops not only survived, but thrived. It was a true arms race, a 2-million-year-long evolutionary chess game played out on the Cretaceous plains. The T-Rex evolved a stronger bite and more advanced senses, while the Triceratops evolved larger horns, a stronger frill, and more complex herd behaviors. So, the next time you see that classic image of T-Rex versus Triceratops, remember it's so much more than a simple monster mash. It's a story of intelligence, of family, of strategy, and of a deep, ancient struggle that shaped both of these magnificent creatures. It wasn't just a fight, it was a battle for the future, fought by some of the most incredible animals ever to walk the earth. The legacy of their rivalry is written in the very bones they left behind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. It's amazing what the fossils can teach us about a world we can only imagine. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the prehistoric world. Let me know in the comments which dinosaur rivalry you'd like to see next. Until then, stay curious. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the mighty dinosaurs, the undisputed kings of the land, decided to take a plunge into the deep, dark ocean? What if their evolutionary journey led them not to the skies, but to the crushing pressures and abyssal plains of the marine world? It's a fascinating thought experiment, isn't it? Imagine a world where the T-Rex's powerful legs transformed into massive flippers, or where the long-necked Brachiosaurus became a colossal, serpentine sea creature, grazing on giant kelp forests. For millions of years, dinosaurs dominated every corner of the terrestrial world, from the scorching deserts to the lush jungles. Their reign was absolute. They were the apex predators, the giants that shook the very ground they walked on. But the land, Bastacities, is only one part of our planet's story. Over 70% of Earth is covered by water, a realm of mystery, wonder, and its own set of ancient, formidable rulers. Let's imagine this alternate timeline, driven by environmental changes, resource scarcity, or perhaps just the relentless march of evil. Some dinosaur lineages begin to adapt to a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Picture Spinosaurus, already a master of the riverbanks, taking the next evolutionary leap. Its sail-like spine might evolve into a stabilizing dorsal fin, its crocodile-like snout becoming even more streamlined for hunting fish in the open water. Its dense bones, perfect for controlling buoyancy in rivers, would be a fantastic starting point for a life spent submerged. Other dinosaurs might follow suit. Maybe a group of armored ankylosaurs, seeking refuge from land-based predators, find safety in the water. Their heavy armor and low-slung bodies could make them like giant reptilian crabs, scraping algae off rocks with their beaked mouths. The agile raptors, with their sharp intellect, could evolve into pack-hunting marine predators, akin to dolphins or orcas, using coordinated attacks to take down larger aquatic prey. It's a spectacular vision, a vibrant, bustling Mesozoic ocean filled with reptilian giants. Herds of marine hadrosaurs migrating across ocean basins, their crests now used to create resonating calls that travel for miles underwater. Plesiosaurs, already masters of the sea, would now have to compete with these new, formidable neighbors. The ocean would be a dinosaur's paradise, a new frontier to conquer. But this new paradise holds a dark, ancient secret. It has a king of its own, a ruler whose reign is measured not in feet, but in tons. A predator whose very presence warps the ecosystem around it. As these newly evolved marine dinosaurs venture further from the sunlit coasts, descending into the twilight and midnight zones, they would be entering a territory that has been claimed for millions of years. They would be entering the hunting grounds of the megalodon. The name itself sends a shiver down the spine. This wasn't just a shark, it was Asterisk. The Asterisk shark, reaching lengths of up to 60 feet, maybe even more, and weighing over 50 tons. The megalodon was the largest predator the world has ever known. Its teeth were the size of a human hand, serrated and brutally efficient, designed for one purpose: to shear through flesh, cartilage, and bone. Its bite force was astronomical, capable of crushing a small whale's skull as easily as we would bite into an apple. For millions of years, the megalodon sat unchallenged at the top of the marine food chain. It preyed on ancient whales, giant sea turtles, and anything else large enough to be considered a meal. Its world was one of silent, patient, and terrifyingly efficient predation. Now, into this world swim our dinosaurs, confident in their size, strength, and evolutionary prowess. They have conquered the land. Surely, the sea will be no different. They are about to learn a harsh lesson. Imagine a newly evolved marine tyrannosaur. Let's call it Thalassotitan. A 40-foot-long beast, a massive skull full of banana-sized teeth. On land, its ancestor was the apex predator. In the coastal waters, it has been a roaring success, but as it follows a pod of ancient whales into deeper waters, it senses something. A change in the pressure, a subtle shift in the currents. Presence from the murky depths below, a shadow detaches itself from the darkness. It is a shape that has been honed by millions of years of evolution to be the perfect killing machine. The megalodon doesn't roar. It doesn't need to. Its approach is silent, methodical. It's not a territorial dispute. It's a predator identifying prey. The Thalassotitan, powerful as it is in an alien environment. It is strong, but the shark is a creature of pure hydrodynamic efficiency. The first strike would come from below, a classic megalodon strategy. The massive shark would rocket upwards, its immense jaws closing on one of the dinosaur's large rear flippers. The crunch of bone and sinew would echo through the water. The dinosaur, crippled and disoriented, would thrash wildly, its power useless against an enemy that can attack from any angle, an enemy that is part of the very water it swims in. The encounter would be brutal and swift. The megalodon wasn't a brawler, it was an assassin. It would inflict a catastrophic, immobilizing wound, then wait patiently for its victim to bleed out and weaken. For the dinosaur, accustomed to being a hunter, this experience would be terrifying. It would be a clash of titans, a battle between the king of the land and the emperor of the sea. But in the deep ocean, the home field advantage is everything. This wouldn't be a one-time event. It would be the new reality for any dinosaur daring to venture into the deep. A herd of marine brachiosaurs peacefully filtering plankton would be a floating buffet for a pack of The sharks would work together, systematically tearing the giant herbivores apart. Even the armored marine ankylosaurs wouldn't be safe. The megalodon's immense bite force could likely crack their bony plates, or it could simply flip them over, exposing their softer underbellies. The dinosaurs, for the first time in their evolutionary history, would know true fear. They would learn that the ocean's depths were not an empty frontier, but a jealously guarded kingdom. They would have to adapt again, perhaps growing even larger to deter attacks, developing more sophisticated group defense strategies, or learning to stay within the relative safety of the shallower, sunlit waters. The deep ocean would become a line they dared not cross, a boundary patrolled by the silent, gray guardians of the abyss. The megalodon's reign would remain absolute. It serves as a powerful reminder that no matter how dominant a species becomes in one environment, there's always a bigger fish in a different pond. The story of dinosaurs conquering the land is incredible, but their hypothetical invasion of the deep sea would have ended not with a triumphant roar, but with the silent, chilling victory of the shark. What do you think? Could any dinosaur have truly stood a chance against the megalodon in its own element? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a fun topic to think about. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into an alternate prehistoric past, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more deep dives into the world of See you next time. Imagine a world where the oceans were not ruled by sharks or whales, but by giants that dwarf anything alive today. Picture an ancient sea, teeming with colossal predators, a realm of constant, brutal conflict. Today, we're staging the ultimate underwater showdown. The marine reptile, Mosasaurus, versus the super predator, shark Carcharodon. Megalodon, two titans, both rulers of their time. When their paths cross in a bloody battle for supremacy, who will emerge victorious? Welcome to a clash of prehistoric leviathans. Let's meet our first contender. Don't let its lizard-like appearance fool you. This was no ordinary reptile, growing up to 18 meters or nearly 60 feet long. The Mosasaurus was an air-breathing marine reptile that dominated the oceans during the late Cretaceous period. Think of it as a Komodo dragon on steroids, perfectly adapted for aquatic warfare. Its long, serpentine body, propelled by a powerful, fluked tail, allowed it to move with terrifying speed and agility. But its real weapon was its head. The Mosasaurus had a double-hinged jaw, much like a snake, allowing it to unhinge its mouth and swallow enormous prey whole. Its skull was packed with conical, razor-sharp teeth, designed not for slicing, but for gripping and crushing. These weren't just in its main jawline. It had a second set of teeth on its palate, called pterygoid teeth, to ensure that once it grabbed something, there was absolutely no escape. It was the undisputed king of the Cretaceous seas, an apex predator of the highest order. Now, let's turn to its opponent, the legendary Carcharodon megalodon. This was not just a big shark. It was Asterisk, the asterisk shark. The largest shark to have ever lived, Megalodon terrorized the oceans from the early Miocene to the Pliocene epoch. Estimates place it at a staggering 20 meters, or over 65 feet in length, and weighing over 60 tons. To put that in perspective, that's longer and heavier than a school bus. Megalodon's primary weapon was its bite. Its jaws, wide enough to swallow two adult humans side by side, were lined with hundreds of massive serrated teeth, some over 7 inches long. These were the perfect tools for shearing through flesh and bone. The bite force of a megalodon is estimated to be one of the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of crushing the skull of a whale as easily as we bite into an apple. It was a cruising predator, built for power and endurance, a true monster of the deep. So, the stage is set. Let's imagine a scenario where these two alpha predators meet. A lone, massive Mosasaurus, patrolling its coastal territory, detects a disturbance. A large megalodon, hunting for whales, has strayed into its domain. The confrontation is inevitable. The battle for the throne of the ocean is about to begin. The first move is critical. The Mosasaurus, with its superior agility and burst speed, would likely initiate the attack. It would use its serpentine body to make quick, unpredictable turns, trying to get to the megalodon's flanks. A direct head-on assault against the megalodon's powerful jaws would be suicide. The Mosasaurus's strategy is to strike from the side or from below, aiming for the shark's less defended gills or its fins. A bite to a pectoral fin could cripple the megalodon, severely hampering its mobility. However, the megalodon is no easy target. Its skin, like that of modern sharks, is covered in dermal denticles, acting like a rough, natural armor. More importantly, the shark is a master of three-dimensional combat. It wouldn't just fight on a horizontal plane. It could dive deep into the abyss or surge towards the surface in an instant. The megalodon's strategy would be to use its immense bulk and raw power. It needs to land just one clean bite. It would likely try to position itself below the Mosasaurus, which needs to surface for air, and then launch a devastating vertical attack, aiming to strike the reptile's softer underbelly. The battle rages. The Mosasaurus twists and turns, its powerful tail churning the water into a frenzy. It manages a glancing blow, its conical teeth raking across the shark's side, drawing blood but failing to inflict a crippling wound. The megalodon, enraged, turns with surprising speed for its size. It lunges, its cavernous mouth wide open. The Mosasaurus narrowly evades, the shark's teeth scraping its tail. The sheer force of the megalodon's near miss creates a powerful wake, disorienting the reptile for a split second. And a split second is all the megalodon needs. This is where the fundamental differences between our two fighters become clear. The Mosasaurus is an ambush predator, relying on a powerful initial strike. While incredibly formidable, it's ultimately a sprinter. The megalodon, on the other hand, is a marathoner built for sustained, powerful attacks. Its cartilage skeleton, while lighter than bone, is incredibly flexible and durable. Furthermore, we have the intelligence factor. Mosasaurs were likely quite intelligent, as modern monitor lizards are. But sharks, especially large predatory ones, possess a keen predatory instinct honed over millions of years. The megalodon has sensory organs, like the ampulla of Lorenzini, allowing it to detect the faint electrical fields of its prey. Even in the bloody, churning water, it can sense the Mosasaurus's every muscle twitch. And then there's the Mosasaurus's greatest vulnerability, its need for air. As the fight drags on, the Mosasaurus becomes increasingly desperate for the surface. The megalodon, able to breathe underwater, can press its advantage, keeping the Mosasaurus down, forcing it to expend precious oxygen. In our hypothetical final act, the exhausted Mosasaurus makes a desperate bolt for the surface. The megalodon anticipates this. With a terrifying surge of power from its massive tail, the shark rockets upward from the depths. It's the classic megalodon attack strategy. It doesn't aim for the head or the tail. It aims for the center of mass, the torso. The impact is catastrophic. The megalodon's jaws, with their unparalleled bite force, clamp down on the Mosasaurus's midsection. The reptile's ribs shatter, the serrated teeth tear through muscle and organs. The Mosasaurus's main weapons, its jaws and tail, are rendered useless as its body is broken. The battle is over. The water turns dark as the Serpent King's reign comes to a violent end. The megalodon, the super predator, has proven its dominance. So, in this epic clash of titans, our verdict goes to while the Mosasaurus is a fearsome and deadly predator, the megalodon's superior size, immense power, devastating bite. And its key advantage of being a fish that doesn't need to surface for air give it the decisive edge in a prolonged battle. It was, for all intents and purposes, the perfect marine killing machine. What do you think? Did we get it right? Who would you have picked to win this ultimate prehistoric showdown? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love reading your theories and debating these epic matchups. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back to a time of monsters. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of prehistoric predators, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more epic battles and fascinating science. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Until next time, stay curious. Welcome back, Dino enthusiasts, to a journey deep into the Jurassic period. Today, we're trekking through the sun-drenched open woodlands of the late Jurassic. A world dominated by giants. The air is warm. The ground is a rich, reddish-brown basalt soil. And dotted across the landscape are ferns, cycads, and conifers. This is the perfect habitat for one of the most iconic dinosaurs of all time. The magnificent Stegosaurus. Picture this. A herd of Stegosaurus, their distinctive double row of plates glinting in the sunlight. These aren't just for show. These plates, or scutes, were filled with blood vessels and likely helped them regulate their body temperature, like giant, built-in radiators. They might have also been used for display, a way to impress mates or intimidate rivals. A full-grown Stegosaurus could reach up to 30 feet long and weigh over 5 tons, making it a formidable presence in this ancient ecosystem. They were herbivores, spending their days peacefully munching on low-growing plants, using their beak-like mouths to strip leaves from ferns and life seems tranquil, but in the Jurassic, danger is never far away. Lurking in the shadows of the conifers is a predator, perfectly adapted for this environment. Meet the Ceratosaurus. Smaller than the more famous Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus was still a fearsome hunter. About 20 feet long, it was agile, fast, and armed with a mouth full of long, blade-like teeth. Its most distinguishing feature was the prominent horn on its snout, giving it its name, which means horned lizard. While the exact function of this horn is debated, it certainly added to its menacing appearance. For a lone Ceratosaurus, a full-grown, healthy Stegosaurus might be too much to handle, but a younger, older, or isolated individual could look like a tempting meal. Our Ceratosaurus has spotted a Stegosaurus that has strayed a little from the herd. The predator begins its approach, moving with a calculated stealth, using the sparse cover of the trees to its advantage. The Stegosaurus, however, is not defenseless. While its brain was famously small, its instincts were sharp. It senses the change in the air, the subtle sound of a twig snapping under the predator's foot. It stops grazing, lifts its small head, and turns, its body tensing. The peaceful scene is about to erupt into a dramatic confrontation, a life-or-death struggle that played out countless times across these Jurassic plains. As the Ceratosaurus breaks cover and charges, we get to see the Stegosaurus's ultimate weapon in action. It's not the plates on its back, but what it carries at the end of its powerful, flexible tail. This formidable weapon consists of 4 massive spikes, each up to 3 feet long. The name Thagomizer actually comes from a Far Side comic strip, but paleontologists loved it so much that it's now widely used. And for good reason. This was no mere ornament. The Stegosaurus would have planted its front feet, using them as a pivot, and swung its muscular tail with incredible speed and force. The Ceratosaurus is fast, but the Stegosaurus is surprisingly agile for its size. It keeps its rear end pointed towards the attacker, the deadly spikes ready. The Ceratosaurus lunges, trying to get past the tail to bite at the herbivore's flank or neck, but the Stegosaurus swings. Imagine the sheer power of that impact. A multi-ton animal swinging a bony, spiked mace. The force would be immense, capable of shattering bone and inflicting deep, devastating puncture wounds. Paleontologists have found fossil evidence that supports this. There are Allosaurus vertebrae with puncture wounds that perfectly match the size and spacing of a Stegosaurus's tail spikes. One famous fossil, known as the Allosaurus, with the Thagomizer injury, shows a healed wound, indicating the predator survived one encounter but likely carried the painful reminder for the rest of its life. Our Ceratosaurus dodges the first swing, but the Stegosaurus is relentless. It repositions and swings again. This time, the predator isn't so lucky. One of the sharp spikes connects with its leg, piercing deep into the muscle. The Ceratosaurus roars in pain and shock, stumbling back. The intended easy meal has turned into a brutal fight it cannot win. The wound is serious, potentially crippling. A lame predator is a starving predator. Wisely, the Ceratosaurus decides to retreat, limping away into the forest to lick its wounds. It has learned a valuable lesson. The gentle plant eater has a very, very sharp sting in its tail. The Stegosaurus watches the predator retreat, its tail still held high. A clear warning. Once the threat is gone, it slowly relaxes, lets out a low call to its herd, and begins to make its way back to the safety of the group. This incredible defensive mechanism was key to the Stegosaurus's survival for millions of years. It allowed this relatively slow-moving herbivore to stand its ground against some of the most fearsome predators the world has ever known. The combination of its imposing plates for display and thermal regulation and the lethal Thagomizer for defense made Stegosaurus a true icon of the Jurassic. It was a masterpiece of evolution, a walking fortress that perfectly balanced passive defense with an active, deadly weapon. So, the next time you see a picture of a Stegosaurus, don't just admire the beautiful plates on its back. Remember the incredible power it wielded at the end of its tail. The Thagomizer is a testament to the fact that in the brutal world of dinosaurs, even the plant eaters had to be tough warriors to survive. It's a powerful reminder that looks can be deceiving, and that sometimes the most effective defense is a very good offense. The battle between Stegosaurus and predators like Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus was a true clash of titans, a dramatic dance of survival that shaped this ancient world. Thank you for joining us on this trip back to the age of dinosaurs. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the defensive power of the amazing Stegosaurus. If you found this journey fascinating, please hit that like button. And for more adventures into the prehistoric past, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got so much more to explore together. See you next time. Scene opens on a vast, arid canyon landscape. The sun beats down on the rocky terrain. A lone, large herbivore, perhaps a Tenontosaurus, is peacefully grazing. Picture this. You're standing in a stunning, rugged canyon, the kind that looks like it could have been ripped straight from a movie. The sun is blazing down, and there's a massive herbivore, a Tenontosaurus, just munching away on some plants. It's a serene moment, right? But hang tight, because we're about to dive into something way more thrilling. Today, we're traveling back to the Cretaceous period, a time when the Earth was a wild and dangerous place, filled with creatures that would make your hair stand on end. Now, forget everything you think you know about raptors for a second. We're not just talking about the little guys that flit around in movies. Nope, we're here to meet their bigger, smarter, and honestly, way more terrifying cousin, close up on a single Deinonychus, hidden amongst the rocks. Its intelligent eyes, scanning the landscape, which literally means terrible claw, might not have been the biggest predator of its time. But trust me, it was definitely one of the smartest. This dinosaur wasn't just a solo act. Oh no, it was a social hunter, which means it knew how to work with its buddies to get the job done. Imagine that level of teamwork. In this harsh landscape, They had a hunting strategy that was nothing short of genius. The ambush. So, let's set the scene. Picture a small herd of Thanatosaurus wandering into this canyon. Feeling pretty safe and secure. They've got a great view of their surroundings, and they think they're in the clear. But here's the kicker. The real danger isn't lurking in the open. Nope, it's already there. Hiding in the shadows, up on the canyon walls, cleverly concealed by rocks and shadows. The Deinonychus pack is watching, waiting, and planning their next move. These aren't just random dinosaurs hanging out together. They're a well-coordinated team. When the hunt begins, it's not with a loud roar or a chaotic charge. Instead, it's all about subtlety. One small movement, a specific call, and boom, the trap is set. The pack springs into action, but it's not a frenzied rush. It's like a beautifully choreographed dance of controlled aggression. One group might create a distraction, trying to separate a weaker member of the herd from the rest. They use their speed and surprising looks to guide their target exactly where they want it. And where is that, you ask? Right into a dead end, maybe a narrow ravine or a sheer cliff face. This is where the real action happens. A spot that the pack leader has already scouted out. While one group is busy herding the prey, other members are moving into position, cutting off any escape routes. It's a classic pincer movement, something you'd expect to see in military tactics centuries later. The prey is now isolated, cornered, and absolutely terrified. Now, here's where things get intense. The Deinonychus don't just rush in for a kill. Their target, Atenontosaurus, could weigh 10 times more than them. Charging in headfirst would be a terrible idea. Instead, they play the long game, engaging in a relentless war of attrition. They're like ninjas in Dinosaur World, masters of hit-and-run tactics. One raptor might dash in, leaping onto the flank of the giant herbivore, using its powerful arm claws to latch on. But the real weapon, that iconic sickle-shaped claw on its foot. This terrible claw isn't just for show. It's not meant to slash through thick skin. Nope. Fossil evidence and biomechanical studies suggest a much more horrifying purpose: pinning and stabbing. The Deinonychus would use its weight to drive that claw deep into its victim, aiming for softer spots, severing muscles and tendons. It's like a horror movie unfolding in real life. They cling on a whirlwind of teeth and claws, inflicting deep, bleeding wounds before jumping off, just as the Thanatosaurus swings its massive tail. But wait, there's more. Another pack member swoops in for an attack from the other side, and then another one. This isn't just random chaos. It's a coordinated assault designed to confuse, wound, and wear down the prey. Each slash, each bite, each deep puncture from that sickle claw takes its toll, draining the Thanatosaurus of strength and blood. The pack communicates effortlessly. They coordinate their moves, identifying weaknesses. If the Thanatosaurus tries to rear up, one raptor might go for its legs to bring it down. If it attempts to escape, another one blocks its path. It's like a game of chess, but with way more at stake. This isn't just a physical battle. It's a psychological one, too. The constant attacks, the pain, the sight of its own blood, and the feeling of being surrounded with no escape it all adds up to shock and exhaustion. That powerful herbivore, which seemed so invincible just moments ago, starts to slow down. Its defensive swings become sluggish, and its breathing turns ragged. It's losing the will to fight, and the pack can sense it. Now, this is the moment the pack has been waiting for. With their prey weakened and collapsing, they move in for the final phase. It's time to swarm, using their sharp, serrated teeth to tear into the flesh. The pack leader might deliver the final, decisive bite to the throat. But remember, this takedown was a group effort from start to finish. They didn't just kill their prey, they dismantle it, piece by piece, through strategy, patience, and ruthless cooperation. Looking at this scene, we see more than just predator and prey. We see the blueprint for social hunting. The Deinonychus pack wasn't just a bunch of individuals. It was a single, thinking, multi-limbed killing machine. They used the terrain to their advantage, communicated like pros, assigned roles, and executed a complex plan to take down prey far larger than themselves. It's a reminder that in the brutal world of the dinosaurs, intelligence, not host size, was the key to survival. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through the world of If you found this journey back in time as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into our planet's incredible past. There's so much more to uncover, and I can't wait to share it with you. See you in the next one. Welcome, bike paleo enthusiasts, to another journey into the raw, untamed world of the past. Today, we travel back 125 million years to the early Cretaceous, to a landscape carved by time and roamed by giants. Our focus isn't on the titans of the plains, but on a drama unfolding in the shadows of a canyon systema battle of wits, brute force, and survival. This is the story of a war for a prime piece of prehistoric real estate. Our contenders are two masters of their environment. In one corner, the incumbent, a formidable cave bear. Not the familiar Ursus speleus of the Ice Age, but its ancient, more primitive ancestor. This powerhouse, weighing nearly a ton, is the undisputed king of its subterranean fortress. Its home, a sprawling network of caves, offers shelter from the harsh elements and a secure place to hibernate and raise its young. This bear is the embodiment of raw power, a living mountain of muscle, claws, and teeth. In the other corner, the challengers, a pack of forget what you've seen in the movies. These are the real deal, turkey-sized, covered in feathers, but no less terrifying. What they lack in size, they more than make up for in intelligence, speed, and lethal coordination. Each raptor is armed with a sickle-shaped claw on each foot, a precision instrument designed for one purpose, to slash and Their greatest weapon, however, is their collective mind. They are a thinking, strategizing, hunting machine. The prize is the cave system itself, to the velociraptors. This isn't just a shelter, it's a strategic asset. It's a nursery, a fortress, and a vantage point from which to dominate the surrounding territory. The current residents have to go. But how does a pack of lightweight predators dislodge a heavyweight champion from its own stronghold? Direct assault is suicide. One swipe from the bear's massive paw could crush a raptor instantly. This will be a war of attrition, a campaign of cunning and psychological warfare. The pack's alpha, a seasoned female with scars from past battles, begins the operation with reconnaissance. She and her swiftest scout patrolled the canyon entrance, observing the bear's routine. They note when it leaves to forage, how long it's gone, and the paths it takes. They map the cave's entrances, not just the main opening, but smaller fissures and vents higher up the canyon wall, invisible to the lumbering bear, but perfectly accessible to agile climbers. This isn't just a hunt, it's an intelligence-gathering mission. Phase 1 of their plan is harassment. The raptors begin a relentless campaign of nuisance raids. When the bear is away, they dart into the cave's entrance, leaving their scent, stealing scraps of food, and making a general mess. When the bear returns, it finds its sanctuary violated. It roars in frustration, its powerful calls echoing through the canyon. But the culprits are long gone. watching from the cliffs above. The goal is to agitate, to disrupt the bear's peace, and to make it feel insecure in its own home. The attacks escalate. The pack grows bolder. They start to probe the bear directly, not to fight, but to test its defenses and wear it down. A pair of raptors will launch a feint attack from the front, their sharp calls and darting movements drawing the bear's attention. As the colossal beast lunges forward, another raptor strikes from the flank, delivering a quick, deep slash to its hind leg before vanishing back into the rocks. The wound is not fatal, but it's painful. It bleeds. It slows the bear down. This becomes the new rhythm of the bear's life. Constant vigilance pain. The raptors are ghosts, striking from the shadows and disappearing. They attack at dawn, at dusk, even during the midday heat, when the bear tries to rest. Sleep becomes a luxury. Every venture out of the cave for food is a gamble, fraught with the risk of another lightning-fast ambush. The pack is a swarm of feathered scalpels, methodically bleeding their colossal opponent, both physically and mentally. The alpha raptor now initiates the final, most audacious phase of the plan. Using the higher-level fissures they discovered earlier, two of the smallest, most agile raptors begin to infiltrate the deeper sections of the cave system. They move like whispers in the dark, their sharp eyes adjusting to the gloom. Their mission is not to confront the bear, but to claim the territory from within. They explore the labyrinthine tunnels, memorizing the layout, and finding the hidden chambers where the bear hibernates, or where it might have a litter of cubs. The bear, wounded and exhausted, senses the shift. It can smell the intruders deep within its home. Its sanctuary has been breached. The psychological toll is immense. The roars that once projected dominance now carry a note of desperation. It is trapped, surrounded by an enemy it cannot fully grasp. An enemy that is everywhere and nowhere at once. The bear is now fighting a war on two fronts. Against the relentless /end-run attacks outside, and against the unnerving presence of invaders within the very heart of its domain. The climax is not a single, epic battle, but a slow, grinding defeat. One day, the bear, weakened by blood loss and sleep deprivation, makes a fatal error. During yet another harassing attack, it overcommits, lunging too far out from the cave entrance. This is the moment the alpha has been waiting for. With a piercing shriek, she signals the final assault. From all sides, the pack converges. It's a blur of feathers, teeth, and claws. They leap onto the bear's back and flanks, their sickle claws finding purchase, tearing muscle and sinew. The great cave bear, a titan of its era, finally collapses under the weight of 1,000 cuts. Its reign is over. The battle is won not by strength, but by strategy. The Velociraptor pack, through sheer intelligence, teamwork, and relentless pressure, has conquered the fortress. As the sun sets over the Cretaceous Canyon, the pack lets out a chorus of triumphant calls. They drag their hard-won prize into the cool darkness of their new home. The cave system, once the bastion of a solitary powerhouse, now belongs to a coordinated, intelligent dynasty. They have proven that in the brutal calculus of survival, brain can, and often does, triumph over brawn. A new power now rules this corner of the ancient world. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into prehistoric warfare. The dynamics of predator and prey are always more complex than they seem. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. See you next time. Step back in time with me, not to the age of Tyrannosaurus Rex, but much, much further, to the late Jurassic period. About 150 million years ago, the world is a vast, arid floodplain, crisscrossed by shallow rivers. And here, in this ancient landscape, a true king reigns. Long before T-Rex, there was another alpha predator, a hunter so effective, so dominant, that it shaped the very ecosystem around it. This is the story of Allosaurus, the different lizard, and how it became the apex predator of its time. So, what made Allosaurus so special? You might picture a smaller, less impressive version of the T-Rex, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Allosaurus was a masterpiece of predatory, reaching lengths of up to 12 meters, or nearly 40 feet, and weighing over 2 tons. It was a formidable beast, but size alone doesn't make you a king. The secret to Allosaurus's success lies in a unique combination of its anatomy and its hunting strategy. It wasn't just about brute force, it was about lethal precision. Let's start with the business end. The skull. The skull of an Allosaurus is a fascinating piece of natural engineering. Unlike the bone-crushing jaws of a T-Rex, the Allosaurus's bite was surprisingly weak for its size. Scientists estimate its bite force was less than that of a modern dinosaur. So, how could it take down giant sauropods like Diplodocus or armored Stegosaurus? The answer is in how it used its head. The skull was incredibly strong, yet lightweight, full of large openings called fenestrae, which reduced its weight without compromising its structural integrity. This design turned the entire skull into a weapon. Instead of biting down and holding on, many paleontologists believe Allosaurus hunted like a living hatchet. It would open its jaws incredibly wide up, to 90 degrees and use its powerful neck muscles to slam its upper jaw down onto its prey. Its teeth were not thick, bone-crushing pegs like a Instead, they were long, sharp, and recurved, like a set of serrated stake knives. These teeth were designed for slicing through flesh, not shattering bone. Imagine the scene. An Allosaurus rushes a young It doesn't try to wrestle it to the ground. Instead, it delivers a series of powerful, slashing bites. Each bite creates a massive, bleeding wound. The Allosaurus didn't need to win the fight in a single move. It could wound its victim and then wait, letting blood loss and shock do the heavy lifting. This hatchet bite strategy was a highly efficient way to tackle prey much larger than itself, without risking serious injury in a prolonged struggle. It was a macabre, but brutally effective hunting method. But Allosaurus might have had another trick up its sleeve, one that truly solidified its position at the top of the food chain. Teamwork. While direct evidence of pack hunting is hard to find in the fossil record, the clues are compelling. At sites like the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry in Utah, the remains of dozens of Allosaurus individuals have been found together. Why were so many of these apex predators gathered in one place? One popular theory is that these were the aftermath of a predator trap. Picture a struggling herbivore stuck in the mud of a drying riverbed. The scent of distress attracts one Allosaurus, then another, and another. A frenzy ensues as the predators compete for the easy meal, and in the chaos, some of them also become trapped in the treacherous mire. This scenario suggests a level of social behavior, while it might have been a chaotic it also hints that these animals tolerated each other's presence, at least when a large food source was available. Now, let's take this a step further. If they gathered for a carcass, could they have coordinated to create one? Hunting in packs, even loosely organized ones, would have been a game changer. A single Allosaurus was a threat. A group of them, they would be an unstoppable force, capable of systematically targeting and overwhelming even the largest and most well-defended sauropods roaming the Jurassic Plains. One Allosaurus could distract a massive herbivore, while others rushed in from the sides, delivering their signature slicing bites. This cooperative hunting would have allowed them to secure a food source so large it could feed the entire group for weeks. This combination of a specialized hatchet-like bite and the potential for pack hunting tactics made Allosaurus the undisputed ruler of its domain. It was perfectly adapted to its environment and the prey within it. It didn't need bone-crushing jaws because it had a more efficient method. It was a predator that relied on speed, agility, and a terrifyingly effective cutting technique. The reign of Allosaurus lasted for millions of years, a testament to its evolutionary success. It wasn't just a placeholder waiting for T-Rex to arrive. It was a dominant force, a true alpha predator that defined the terror of the Jurassic period. So, the next time you think of a giant carnivorous dinosaur, remember the original king. Remember the different lizard with its hatchet head and serrated teeth, a predator that ruled the arid plains of the late Jurassic with brutal efficiency. Allosaurus proves that there's more than one way to be an apex predator. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the age of dinosaurs. What do you think? Was Allosaurus a lone hunter or a pack animal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and do UNT forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do UNT miss our next prehistoric adventure. Until next time, stay curious. Welcome back, Paleo Pals. Today, we're not just visiting the Jurassic, we're diving into one of its wildest environments. Forget those lush jungles for a moment. Picture this: the late Jurassic, a vast, sun-baked desert. The sand is glowing a fiery red under the blazing sun. Towering dunes, shaped by ancient winds, stretch out as far as the eye can see, and right in the middle of it all, a single, shrinking waterhole, a lifeline in this harsh wasteland. This is a land of survivors, and today, we're following one of the greatest, the mighty. Our Diplodocus is a colossal herbivore, a true giant of this arid world. Usually, these behemoths roam in herds, using their size as a powerful defense. But our buddy here is all alone, driven by a desperate thirst to reach this dwindling oasis. Its long neck, a marvel of evolution, stretches out to sample the sparse, tough plants clinging to life around the water's edge. Every bite of these hardy greens is precious energy. Life here is a constant struggle, balancing the search for food with the need to conserve water. The air is still heavy with heat, but something's brewing. The sky on the horizon is turning a hazy, ominous. Suddenly, the wind starts to whisper, then howl. The air thickens, not with moisture, but with sun. A superstorm is on the way. For a creature this size, a sandstorm isn't just annoying, it's life-threatening. Those stinging, abrasive particles can blind, choke, and strip the skin. Visibility drops to nearly zero, disorienting even an animal that's known this desert its whole life. Our Diplodocus instinctively senses the danger. It can't outrun this massive wall of moving sand. Its only hope is to endure. With a low, rumbling call that gets swallowed by the gale, the Diplodocus lowers its massive body. It hunkers down, pressing its belly against the cooler sand near the waterhole. It tucks its incredibly long neck and head alongside its body, trying to shield its vulnerable eyes and nostrils. This isn't a chill-out position. It's a desperate brace against the elements. The wind screams, a physical force pushing against its immense frame. Tons of sand start piling up against its side, threatening to bury it. Every breath is a struggle, a fight against inhaling the suffocating dust. Inside the storm, it's a world of sensory overload and raw survival. The sun is blotted out, plunging the desert into a terrifying seep. The only sound is the deafening roar of the wind and the hiss of a billion grains of sand scouring the landscape. For the Diplodocus, time seems to stand still. It's just an endless battle of will and endurance. Its thick, leathery hide, evolved for protection against predators in the harsh sun, now serves as a crucial shield against this airborne assault. It stays perfectly still, conserving every ounce of energy. Its powerful heart beating a slow, steady rhythm against the storm's fury. Hours pass. The storm rages on with unrelenting ferocity. Smaller creatures have long since burrowed deep beneath the surface, but for a giant like Diplodocus, there's no escape, only resilience. The sand keeps building, forming a new dune against its body. Surprisingly, this creates a small advantage, a pocket of slightly calmer air where it can breathe a bit easier. It's a testament to how life adapts, finding small wins even in the most hostile situations. The giant's internal reserves are being pushed to their absolute limit. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the wind's roar begins to soften. The suffocating blanket of dust starts to thin. Shafts of pale light pierce the gloom. The storm is passing. Slowly, cautiously, the Diplodocus begins to move. With a tremendous effort, it shifts its weight, shaking off the tons of sand that had partially buried it. It's a slow-motion eruption as the desert titan reclaims its form from the newly sculpted landscape. Every muscle aches. Its eyes are raw, and its throat is parched, but it has survived. The Diplodocus raises its long neck, taking in a world transformed. The dunes have shifted, the landscape rewritten by the storm's power. The air is clear now, but thick with the taste of dust. Its first instinct: thirst. It stumbles the last few steps to the waterhole, which is now smaller and partially filled with sand, but still holds that precious water. It plunges its snout into the murky liquid, drinking deeply, replenishing the moisture lost during the ordeal. This drink is a victory, a well-deserved reward for its incredible endurance. Having quenched its immediate thirst, the Diplodocus must now face the aftermath. The storm has stripped the area of what little vegetation there was. Its food source is gone. Survival means moving on, using its deep knowledge of the land to find the next oasis, the next patch of hardy ferns or such. With the sun now beating down on the reshaped desert, our titan begins its slow, deliberate journey onwards. It's a solitary silhouette against the vast, red emptiness, a living testament to the resilience required to thrive in the late Jurassic. It faced the worst the desert could throw at it, and emerged, scarred but unbroken. What an incredible story of survival. It just shows that these magnificent creatures were not just giants, but true masters of their environment, equipped to handle challenges we can barely imagine. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time. If you were amazed by the resilience of the smash that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the prehistoric world. Let us know in the comments what ancient creature's survival story you'd like to see next. Until then, stay curious.